of the most common questions I get asked within all my clients and also prospective clients is, what about the performance appraisal process? And if I'm honest, when we do any kind of survey with any of our organizations, the first thing that comes out usually is how poorly run the performance appraisal process is. Now, you might call it different. It might be an annual review, it might be a performance appraisal, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. It's this annual event where you sit down, you talk about someone's performance, you review the year, you kind of say, yes, it was good, no, it wasn't very good, and what are we going to do differently in the next 12 months? Very rarely do people ever have any kind of training for that kind of exercise. Usually the format is very onerous, related to lots of paperwork, lots of box ticking, lots of everything else. And generally it's the most uninspiring event of the year, when it really should be the most inspiring event of the year. So what do you do differently? Well, first of all, the chances are you're going to need to rip up what you do at the moment, because in my opinion, in my sort of experience of doing this for the last 15 years, about 80%, 90% even of organizations don't do this well. And it's usually down to training that the individuals, the managers, the leaders that are being asked to do that exercise just don't have a clue properly to how to do it well. It's very unmotivating for the person who's being given the annual review. And often it's because there's no contact or real regular contact or communication throughout the year. Very often this is a one annual event. People are scrambling around for a few days previous to find out, well, what is it that I said in my annual review last year? Did I do any of that stuff? And it's just dreadful. So the biggest thing for me would be, in most cases, rip up what you're doing. Ensure that the managers get good quality training on how to have a good conversation with their team members. What does a good conversation look like? How do I take care of their welfare? How do I look at performance? How do I deal with development? And all of those different things, and have them on a regular basis. A monthly basis is kind of what we suggest. And if you do that, then the end of the year becomes a good point, because it's really just a follow-up from all the other 12 conversations that you've had through the year. But if you really want to make a difference here and really make a difference for your people, I strongly suggest get in touch with either us or someone else who deals in these kinds of things, who can help you to reconstruct what you do, so your team, both the leaders and managers of the business, plus your people, actually think this is a useful and worthwhile exercise.